Hello and happy holidays. Well, you might be saying, wait, today's not a holiday, and you might be right, but on the Imperial Collector, today is a holiday. It's Ahsoka Tano Day. That's right. Now, we've already unboxed one Ahsoka Tano figure on the Imperial Collector, and that was the Ahsoka Tano. That was a version of Ahsoka Tano Rosario Dawson played on the Mandalorian TV show on Disney+. Today, we've got double the Ahsoka Tano for you, and that we're unboxing the Ahsoka Tano from her own show on Disney+, the Ahsoka Show, also known as Ahsoka. Her in her white garments, as she wears on that show, but also we're continuing the Clone Wars specials today as we're doing a double unboxing of Ahsoka Tano, and we're doing Ahsoka Tano as seen in the Clone Wars animated show. Like we've done with the rest of our Clone Wars episodes, it's from the animated show, but they've made them look like they were live action figures. Which is funny because later on there would be a live action Ahsoka, and that would be Rosario Dawson. They don't really look alike, but at that time it's not really based on an actress, it was based on a cartoon. So today we're going to get started here on Ahsoka Tano Day. Oh, by the way, if you've seen other episodes, I've talked about Ahsoka Tano in other episodes before, and I've talked about her, headpiece here. What is that? Well, I finally remembered. Well, I looked it up. It's called a leku. Her head horns and here and one in the back is called a leku. And if you can see back up here, right here, is Shakti. She also has a leku. And you can't really see it from here. Let me try to maneuver this camera real quick up just a little bit. And you can see her leku up there. She has a rather long one because as they get older and they grow, their lekus get bigger. So, here's the box for Ahsoka Tano. Excuse me, I'm yawning like I always do during the show. I don't get that. I film it some in the morning, some in the evening, some midday. I always yawn. I don't understand it. Star Wars does not make me sleepy. I don't get it. But this is her from the Ahsoka show. Rosario Dawson portrayed her in there. This is the actual figure. Another picture of the figure here. And there's a picture of her here, as you see, with her cloak on. Let's unbox Ahsoka from Ahsoka, the Disney Plus show. Again, they didn't let us down, Hot Toys. Great artwork. Great artwork. Taking a look here at the instructions. Okay, just telling us a few things about how this figure does have the moving eyes, which we have seen before. And it's telling us about something that we haven't seen yet. I'll go over that in just a little bit. So let's get her accessories out like we normally do and take a look at those first. Okay, starting out here, it looks like we have her lightsabers. Now, I've talked about one of these new versions of the lightsabers that light up before on the show. And, excuse me, we haven't seen one actually yet, but here we do have them. And they are kind of ridiculous. I don't understand why they went from batteries to USB because they are wired. But here's the USB junction box here. You'll see these two slots here. And then there's one USB outlet there. And we're going to go ahead and look at this. Now, I don't know how good we can see it because I'm not going to turn the light off. I do not have the clapper. But I do have a USB cable. So we'll take a look here. Oh, okay. Well, let's take a look. Okay, well, you can see it does light up. She has two sizes of lightsabers. She has a taller one, and then she does have a shorter one. These are the same ones we see in The Mandalorian. And she does have some that are wired that do light up. If you had a place to display this and hook a USB to it, like a battery pack or just a USB cord attached to power, like I have here, then, you know, that might be nice for your display. But you have to take the wires around and move them around the body. I just don't think that was a smart move from the batteries. The batteries you could just turn on pretty easily and connect them there. But, you know, I didn't design the figures. Trying to get this back in here. Well, okay. Of course, she does have the regular sabers here. Like I was talking about, she has a big one and a small one. I'm going to set those to the side because those are the ones I'm going to use with her, not the light up ones. Oh, she does have two white blades, and of course the swooshing motion blades. The blades are smaller, so therefore, the sabers are smaller. Sorry about that. Therefore, the blades are smaller too. But we'll look at those again. We'll see those again when we get the figure completely set up. Okay, what else is in the box here? Not sure what that is. Nope, I do know what that is. Okay, this Ahsoka does have a very interesting base. Now, we've seen a lot of bases unboxing these figures so far, and they've been kind of plain, they've been kind of standard. Some of them were neat, they looked a little different than the others, but this base that comes with her is unique to any we've seen before. And this is it. This is it here. It says Star Wars Ahsoka on there. It's in a different metallic finish. It's a round base. This material feels kind of like concrete-like. If you've seen the Ahsoka series, you'll know there's a lot of designs with circles and things. And this is actually to look like a ruin from the first episode. She goes to this planet where she's exploring these ruins, and this is made to look like it. And it is a dynamic flight pole, sorta. It's also different than we've seen. It has the same connection as the dynamic flight pole, but it's just a clear tube. Goes down in there, and then you put this on there as well. And we're going to tighten that up a little bit. We do have our screwdrivers. We learned early on that we'll need a little set of screwdrivers for various reasons. We're going to tighten that up a little bit. And we'll be able to use that when we display her a little later on. But this is her stand. Very different what we've seen so far. Very different stand. And you know, we will come back to that. She does have multiple hands. She has fist hands, and she has one of these neat gloves with like braiding around the leather part there, like the top part of her hand. She has some fist hands. She has some force hands. She has this neat hand, which, if you'll know from the show and from seeing her in the animated series, she sometimes holds her saber like that, with her hand in that odd pose. She does have two face sculpts. They both have moving eyes. This is one of her face sculpts here. She's kind of angry. She's angry when she's fighting. And it just pops in with magnets, actually, into her face. That we will look at right now. Because she doesn't come with a ton of accessories, because Ahsoka doesn't have a ton of accessories. She has her lightsaber, and in this case, she has a switch-out faceplate. She doesn't have that in the show, because she just makes her expressions herself. But I'm going to go ahead and get all this plastic off here. Don't look like there's a lot, so it shouldn't take but a few moments. Well, I always have trouble with boots. These boots always have a big piece of tape in them. But we'll try to get that without having to pause the episode. Now, in this one, her outfit reminds me a lot of that of an Inuit, otherwise known as an Eskimo, from Alaska. My wife watches a few shows that take place in Alaska, and I've seen some of these native Alaskans with their various outfits, and it's very interesting. She kind of reminds me of that, which is sort of like a Native American, but it is different. With them being in Alaska, they have a little bit different garments, to stay out of the cold weather. She is kind of different in, she does come standard to begin with her cloak on. Normally these figures, if they're wearing cloaks, they don't have them on to start with. And that's her, Rosario Dawson, as we see again, as Ahsoka Tano. And this is a great figure. Now I'm going to display her without her cloak, so I'm going to go ahead and take that off. Because if you'll remember, the figure with the gray outfit, I did display her with her cloak. I'm going to remove her head temporarily. Looks like she has some rubber up under her arms. Some foam as protection. Stuff around her head. So let's look at her head just a moment. So you'll see here, this is her head and her leku, as we called it. Her face does pop out, or you can put the other face right in there. And then it does have a ball joint for her neck. Her head just pops right back on. And then we'll just pop her head right back on there very easily. Look at this figure. The detail in this figure is crazy. Just down to every little detail. She has scoring where it's needed, tatteredness where she's needed it. The outfit on the back with the real cloth. Her boots, like I said, look almost like, Indian, Native American, Inuit, or almost Japanese feel to them also. Her pants are kind of baggy. They have like a texture to them where it's like screen printed on. It's very interesting. She does have her beads down here to the side like she normally does. As you'll see there, she has the little hooks for her sabers. Just very awesome. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. Hopefully my clicker's working today. And we'll come back with her posed on the display stand. And then after that, we'll get ready to unbox our second Ahsoka figure of the day. Stay tuned. Okay, and welcome back to the Imperial Collector. And as you'll see, this is the way. This is the way that I'm going to display my Ahsoka Tano figure from her show, Ahsoka. You'll see her right there. I'm doing it with her angry head sculpt. You'll see the figure there. Turn it around. See all the detail all around her there. It's just amazing, this figure. One of my one of my all-time favorite figures so far, Ahsoka Tano, as seen in Ahsoka. Okay, well, I promised you today is double Ahsoka Day. So let's set one Ahsoka Tano to the side, Rosario Dawson, and get ready for Ahsoka Tano, or Snips, as Anakin Skywalker called her, in Clone Wars, the animated show. Now, this is the animated version made to look a little more lifelike. This is Ahsoka, but a lot younger. She was more of a early 20s or late teenager. We do see her at another phase. She has on a different outfit, a different Leku, little headband thing when she's younger. They do have that figure from the Ahsoka show. We don't have that one yet. But that figure was portrayed by the same girl that played the little girl from one of the Marvel movies, one of the Avenger movies, where Thanos is with a little girl, and that's her. I can't remember exactly which one that was, but I think, she was Gamora. She was young Gamora in one of the Avengers movies. Yes, it was an Avengers movie. I don't believe it was one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but it was Gamora. So it's interesting that she's green. She's a child that's green, and then she's a child that's orange. But anyway, that was the same actress. So this is Ahsoka Tano, as we see in the Clone Wars, but made to look live action. Again, there's the figure. A little more. You see her there on the side. And actually, I think that's the way that I'm going to display her. Just like that. Excuse me. And she will go up on the shelf where I have the other Clone Wars live action looking figures. Wow. This is an awesome figure too. Oh, sorry. Again, box art is wonderful. You can see the actual figure there. It's very detailed. I love those. Said that from day one, how much I love those figures. Now, if you're familiar with Ahsoka and her history, you'll know not only does she go through lightsabers, she goes through lightsaber colors. She starts out with green, and she has one saber. Then she gets a second green saber. Then, in this iteration, she's a little older. Not quite yet this version, but she is a little older than when we originally see Snips. And she has these lightsabers. They are different from the curved ones you see in the Ahsoka show. And they are blue. They're blue saber. It's not a white saber like we see here, or a green saber. You can see her there. Again, they are different sizes. She does have a longer one and a smaller one, so that's keeping with the Ahsoka that we know. She also has the swooshing blades, like we see. We've seen those with several other figures. Now, interesting, I don't see this one has the electronics at all. It doesn't look like to light up any of these blades. Now, she does have several different hands. She has on a little bit of armor in this one, similar to clone armor, because she is in the Clone Wars, and as we know, like the other figures, they wore a lot of the clone armor. So we're going to set those to the side. And she has multiple hands. There's a lot of figures we go through that has multiple hands. I don't go through them all because, they're just hands. But they do a lot of different things. So we're going to look at her instructions real quick. Ahsoka had a cloak. Ahsoka always had a cloak. She didn't wear it a lot, but you do see her various times with a cloak. So this one comes with a cloak too. The first one came with a cloak. It was kind of gray that we unboxed. This Ahsoka, of course, came with the white cloak. And then this one has kind of a tan cloak that we'll see. So just looking at some information on her. Okay. Now, interesting enough, this figure was not billed as a deluxe figure. And normally the deluxe figures are the ones with the moving eyes. But this one also has the eyes that you can move. And we have that little tool that we've seen in the past where you can move those eyes. Let's set Ahsoka to the side and take a look at her accessories. There's her cloak. Very similar to the rest of them, to her cloaks. That was not as detailed because it is coming from a cartoon. It's coming from a cartoon made to look lifelike. We do see that little tool for the eyes. I didn't show it to you when I unboxed this one. I actually forgot about it. But she did have that as well because you can move her eyes. Now this one does not come with different head sculpts. It just has one. She also has a thermal detonator, like I believe we've seen before. Somebody had that. I believe it was Cody that had that. She has one of these hollow projectors, hollow communicators. We've seen one of those before. She comes with her master, her Jedi master, since she's the apprentice to Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars. She also interacts with Master Yoda quite a bit. Master Yoda. And here, I believe, yes, this is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it's very interesting. All of these holographic figures, I know you can't probably make it out there, but I mean, he's got his beard. You can really tell if you look close. This is a figure of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. That is crazy. I'm going to go back and look at this Anakin figure because, yeah, I mean, you can tell, sort of tell it's Hayden Christensen, the face, but that one really looks like Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's crazy to be that scale and still look like the character. Looking at her stand now, her stand, not quite like this stand. This one's kind of one of the, I don't want to say boring because, we really haven't been bored yet with these figures. I don't think we will get bored with these figures. But it is a base we have seen, just a different color. That's one thing they do. I don't know if you've noticed, but they'll use the same, like, these little circles and the lines and stuff on this base, but we've seen it in black. We've seen it in like a dark copper. We've seen it with some scoring or some like scratch marks on it. This is just a basic gray, and it does say Ahsoka Tano there, as you can see with Star Wars in silver. And let's see. Now, she's got something I don't think we've seen yet. It's not what they call crotch driver. It's not the dynamic flight pole that does like this. This is kind of more of a standard doll stand that I've seen before, that I've actually bought from Hobby Lobby to put these other figures on that you'll see up here, the Hasbro figures, and even some of the 3.75 inch figures about this big. I've put on these different size doll stands that you can get from Hobby Lobby. I'm trying to see if I have a figure somewhere it's easy for me to get to, and I don't really. Actually, hold on. Oh, preview of something we're going to look at later. Don't look. So, I do have this Geonosis that is on one of these stands. It's got a base, and it has these little white pieces, and I've got this one lifted up because this Geonosis flies. But these are the stands that you can get, like I said, from Hobby Lobby. That's really the only place that I've found them. You can buy them on Amazon, but gosh, they're expensive, and they want you to get like 50 or something at a time. I didn't need that many. And the different sizes are different prices there at Hobby Lobby. Not a sponsor. But it's a great place to find those. But this is very similar. See, it's... Uh-oh. That pops right back on. We found that out. Other figures. See, it's a very similar type thing. You can put the figure right in there. So, we'll do that a little bit later. And you can flex it some too. So we'll set that stand to the side. And we'll go over the figure. Now, it looks like this Ahsoka does have a lot of plastic on her. So I am going to do what I do sometimes. I'm going to pause the video and get all this plastic off of her, and we'll go over the figure after that. Okay, welcome back. Got all the plastic off here. So she does look like Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars animated. And there she is, made to look lifelike. Not yet at this point a real actor, so it doesn't look like Rosario, but it does look like more of a real, see her boots there. There's like little scuff marks on her outfit because she has been fighting in the Clone Wars. Her leku is a little different. She's got some different markings on it. She's got like some gold on the side there on her headband. She doesn't have the little earpieces like this figure does. Her leku stripes are a little different. She's younger, so it looks like she has a little bit more blue. They're a little bit more pointy because they haven't grown out more yet, like this one. And the back is more blue than this one over here too. This is, again, a very awesome figure. You can move the eyes in this one too. And I'm going to, again, pause, get her displayed, and we'll finish up this episode on Ahsoka Day, today's holiday. Double Ahsoka Tano unboxing from Hot Toys Figures here on the Imperial Collector. Okay, we are back. I do have the Clone Wars Ahsoka Tano pose the way I'm going to have her in my collection. Kind of a standard straight pose, not the move and pose that this one is in. She's kind of straight. She's ready to get her sabers up and start fighting. There she is, Ahsoka Tano, as seen in Star Wars, the Clone Wars. You see her base there. Also, we'll go back to Ahsoka Tano from the Ahsoka series. She's ready to battle. She's a little bit more fierce. She's been through a lot more stuff than this one. She's quite a bit older. This has been Ahsoka Day, Ahsoka Tano double unboxing from Hot Toys, Ahsoka Tano from the Ahsoka Show, and Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars The Clone Wars Animated, made to look live action. This is the Imperial Collector. I am the Imperial Collector, Oliver Dean McCurry, reminding you, like and subscribe. Tell your Star Wars loving friends about this channel. I hope you do love it. So we'll see you next time. I don't remember what we're unboxing next time. Tune in and you'll find out.